If you feel so strongly about officially recognizing Palestine for statehood, why are you waiting for President Trump to leave the country? Why can't you just do it right now? Isn't there a risk in rewarding Hamas?
Mr. President, it's a pleasure to welcome you to Chequers. This historic second state visit is a moment to celebrate the unique bond between our two countries.
Prime Minister Starmer, Melania and I are tremendously thankful for the wonderful hospitality that you and Lady Starmer have extended today at Chequers. Quite the place, quite the place. We're grateful beyond words for the spectacular honor of the state visit yesterday at Windsor Castle, hosted by His Majesty King Charles III and Her Majesty Queen Camilla. These are two fantastic people. We will never forget it. As I said last night, the bond between our countries is like no other anywhere in the world. The United States and the United Kingdom have done more good on this planet than any two nations in human history.
Mr. President, the UK is expected to recognise a Palestinian state in the coming days as the killing in Gaza continues. It often seems that you're the only person that Israel will listen to. What more can you say to them to tell them to stop? And why is the UK's position on a Palestinian state, in your view, wrong? And Prime Minister, what will the recognition of a Palestinian state actually achieve? Is it not just gesture politics to appease people in your own party? Thank you both.
Well, Chris, let me just start with that because we discussed this amongst other things. We had the best part of an hour, I think, upstairs earlier today, just one-to-one, going through a number of affairs, world affairs, in private. And we absolutely agree on the need for peace and a roadmap because the situation in Gaza is intolerable. The hostages have been held for a very, very long time, and they must be freed. And we need aid to get into Gaza at speed. And so it's within that context of a plan for peace, which we're working hard on, which not only did we discuss this morning, but two teams have been working together on, the question of recognition needs to be seen. So it's part of that overall package, which hopefully takes us from the appalling situation we're in now to the outcome of a safe and secure Israel, which we do not have, and a viable Palestinian state. Thank you.
Well, simply, I want the hostages released now, right now, not 1, 2, we'll give you 3 more tomorrow, like it's been. We're the ones that got all the hostages released. We got many, many came to the Oval Office, and I've heard stories like I've never thought even possible. There was no humanity, no anything. I said to them, was there any warmth shown during this stay? Like they offered you a little extra meal, they gave you a little smile, and they said, "Don't worry, you'll be okay." And every one of them said, "Not even a little bit." Amazing to think that during the stay, long stay in some cases. We had a man the other day, 451 days he was there. I always ask that question. And was there any warmth shown? Just a little word of encouragement. And the answer is every time, absolutely not. I'm shocked to hear it, because in the worst cases, there's always somebody that comes through. We want the fighting to stop, and it's going to stop. But a lot of bad things. Hamas said that they're going to put the hostages up as bait. They're going to put the hostages in front of any attack. That's pretty brutal. We haven't heard that one in a long time.
Mr. President, in the 9 months you've been in office, you've been incredibly successful in all but eliminating crossings on your southern border. Meanwhile, illegal migration is at record levels in Britain. The Prime Minister is trying to tackle that. What advice would you give to the man standing next to you on trying to stop illegal migration in Britain?
I appreciate your question. Nobody, absolutely zero, and I'm not even sure that's possible, but it's a very liberal group that come out with those statistics. The last 3 months, we had zero. From millions of people a year ago, we had 0 people enter our country illegally. We do have people coming in legally through a legal process and testing and lots of other things. I think it's very important, and we speak about it. I think your situation is very similar. You have people coming in. I told the Prime Minister I would stop it. It doesn't matter if you call out the military. It doesn't matter what means you use. It's going to destroys countries from within.
Jack, let me just deal with the question of returns, because this is obviously an issue we're taking incredibly seriously. We've struck a number of deals both on cooperation with other countries, because this is a problem right across Europe, to tackle the problem of actually breaking up the gangs that are running this trade. We have had a record number of returns, over 35,000 now since we came into office. That's the highest number for the best part of 10 years. We struck the returns arrangement with France, and notwithstanding the challenges to that scheme, which you've seen in the last few days, A flight went off at 6:15 this morning, successfully returning someone under that scheme. That is an important step forward. Obviously, there's no silver bullet here. There's a range of things that need to be done. But given the challenges of returning people, it is important that we're able to prove it can be done. It was done. It was done early this morning. So I can confirm that that flight went. It went successfully. I'm pleased about that. Now we need to ramp that up at scale, which was always envisaged under the scheme. But it's very important that we have been able to prove that the proof of concept, if you like, that this can be done, will continue in that way.
Mr. President, you say that President Putin has let you down. Have negotiations run out of road? What are your next steps to compel an end to this war?
Well, he has let me down. He's killing many people. He's losing more people than he's killing. Yeah. Frankly, the Russian soldiers are being killed at a higher rate than the Ukrainian soldiers. He said, let me down. I don't like to see it's death. It doesn't affect the United States. We have, other than unless you end up in a world war over this thing, you could. This was a thing that would have never happened had I been president. If I were president, it would have never happened. It didn't happen for 4 years. Most people agree it didn't happen, nor was it close to happen. And I spoke to President Putin about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye. I've said that many times. It was. He would have never done what he did, except that he didn't respect the leadership of the United States. They just went through the Afghanistan total disaster for no reason whatsoever. We're going to leave Afghanistan. We're going to leave it with strength and dignity. We're going to keep Bagram, the big air base, one of the biggest air bases in the world. We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to get it back. But, okay, that could be a little breaking news. We're trying to get it back because they need things from us. We want that base back. The Russia situation, I hope we're going to have some good news for you coming up. Again, it doesn't affect the United States. It doesn't so much affect you. Of course, you are a lot closer to the scene than we are. We have a whole ocean separating us. I will say this. It's millions of people have died in that war, millions of souls. They're not American. They're soldiers, mostly soldiers. The soldiers are being killed at levels that nobody's seen since the Second World War. They're being killed. I feel I have an obligation to get it settled for that reason.
If you feel so strongly about officially recognizing Palestine for statehood, why are you waiting for President Trump to leave the country? Why can't you just do it right now? And isn't there a risk in rewarding Hamas with that?
Let me be really clear about Hamas. They're a terrorist organisation who can have no part in any future governance in Palestine. What happened on October the 7th was the worst attack since the Holocaust. We have extended family in Israel. I understand firsthand the psychological impact that had across Israel. I know exactly where I stand in relation to Hamas. Hamas, of course, don't want a two-state solution. They don't want peace. They don't want a ceasefire. So I'm very clear where I stand on Hamas. On the question of recognition, I made my position clear at the end of July as to the timing, which has got nothing to do with this state visit. I've discussed it with the President, as you would expect amongst two leaders who respect each other and like each other and want to bring about a better solution and the best way that we can. Thank you so much. Can I go back then to Robert at ITV?
Robert Peston, ITV. Mr. President, you alone in the whole world, have the power to persuade Prime Minister Netanyahu to stop the demolition of Gaza City, to stop the starvation of Palestine, and to stop the killing of civilians. If not now, when will you exercise that power and tell him to stop?
Sure.
And then for both of you...
We do understand about October 7th.
You do understand. So believe me, I understand.
One of the worst days in the history of humanity. What happened, I have seen the tapes. Babies that are 4 months old and just chopped up to pieces. You've seen the tapes, I've seen the tapes. You're a professional, so am I. And people forget about October 7th. I can't forget about it. I want it to end, but I want the hostages back. I don't want the hostages used as human shields, which is what Hamas is threatening to do.
But as soon as they're back, that's the moment you will tell Netanyahu to stop.
It would certainly help. I have to have the hostages back. And I don't want them back piecemeal, as I said before. I want them back.